angels willing to hold us in their arms. When our worth of stone or ashes, and we both passed on. Let forever mean forever and carry on.
Good afternoon. So pretty much every show I end it by saying, of course, I always tell everybody that I love them and that, to be one with their spirit. I also say, we'll see you tomorrow, God willing. Now, I understand that when a lot of people say things like, you'll be in my thoughts and prayers, or I understand that a lot of times it's lip service. They don't really mean the words when they say it. When we say, God bless you, we love you, be one with your spirit, we mean every word of it. And when I say, God willing, we'll see you tomorrow, I mean it. And, there's a reason why I say that, because with all the uncertainty in the world, it really, it comes down to that. It really comes down to that. I could have a heart attack in the middle of the night. A plane could crash through the house and take us out. Just anything stupid, anything not so stupid. So this morning, I woke up, and my routine is typically about the same. First thing I do when I wake up is I walk into the living room, and I go ahead and I hit the power button on both computers, mine and Jen's. That way they can start booting up. Mine takes quite a while to boot up because of all the software and stuff. So I go ahead and get a head start on it. Then I'm putting a harness on a dog, getting her outside, and then starting on coffee. This morning, the routine was about the same. I came in, I started the computer, or both computers, got Blue outside, started on coffee, and as I was walking back in here, because normally in between coffee being done and me getting Blue back in, I'll go ahead and come back in the living room and sit down, get logged in, and start mulling through news headlines and whatnot. Well, I came back in the living room, my computer was off. Not anything too crazy during the last, I'd say few weeks or so. Once in a while when I'd turn my computer on, it'd get booted up, it would be booted up and then just shut off. And so I knew what it was a sign of. And lo and behold, today, the power supply just it couldn't do it anymore. So it's a done deal. It will power up the computer for a little bit, and that's it. So I thought I was going to be screwed today, for lack of more, appropriate words. So I immediately I went down in the basement. We had a computer down there that's not being used. Brought it up here, pulled the cover off of it. I didn't think that it had a power supply that would run my computer, and sure enough, it didn't. So I peeled the side off of Jen's computer and shined the light in there, started looking at the plugs, and sure enough, her power supply did have the appropriate plugs for this computer. The only problem is it's like 350 watts. It takes 350 watts just to power my video card alone. So it's a tad bit underpowered. The power supply that was in the computer was 500 watts, and even that is underpowered. I really wouldn't suggest putting, if I was to tell you to buy components for a computer, and I told you to buy the exact components that I have for my computer with the exact amount of hard drives that I have in my computer, with the same video card and all that, I wouldn't tell you to get anything under 750, 800 watt power supply. But I'd been running this thing for like 5-6 years on a 500 watt power supply. It was one I bought from Micro Center when I bought most of the components to build a computer. They had a bin, and I picked the power supply up out of the bin, and it was real cheap. It was $30 power supply, and it was heavy. That's how you can tell, for the most part, whether or not you're getting a good power supply. Your better power supplies are heavier. And sure enough, it was heavy. So I was like, So I grabbed it, and that one lasted 3 years. Then, going on close to about 3 years ago, I had to replace it. It went out. So getting about 3 years out of a $30 power supply, I'm not going to complain. However, that put us in a really bad spot. Yesterday, during the monologue, I had talked about we had placed an order for some lights and stuff for our bikes because we're like way behind on getting prepared. I mean, you guys all know that. I do talk about that. I don't talk about it in a, I want your sympathy, I want your pity, no, I don't, that ain't why I talk about that. The reason why I talk about how far behind we are and how much we struggle to prep is because I want folks to understand just because there's a mountain there doesn't mean you shouldn't take that first step. Take that first step, then take the next step and the next step. Keep stepping. And anyway, nonetheless, I had spent all of our disposable income yesterday on getting lighting and stuff for the bikes. So that put us in a hell of a position. But we scraped, and I did order another power supply. Gonna be rough, especially if we do get a vinyl order. Because we were saving back the money it was going to take to order the vinyl if we do indeed get a large vinyl order, which I do expect to be coming in the coming days, probably this coming week. So nonetheless, it put us in a pretty tight spot. It was, I think I paid $43, roughly, something like that, $42, $43, I think, for a power supply today. It'll be in, I'm assuming, sometime next week. So hopefully sooner than later. Because that, like I say, that's not only do I know that that the power supply that I'm currently running on, that I'm talking to you from, is very weak. But I don't want to blow this power supply out. Plus, a lot of times when a power supply goes, it takes motherboard and it's a nasty situation. So I can't, the other power supplies, the brand was Inland, and I'll tell you what, 2 of them blown, same motherboard, same video card, the whole 9 yards, and it has not harmed a single component on my computer. I can't thank Inland enough for building an inexpensive power supply that chose to protect my computer before it went dead. That's awesome. There is a difference, folks. There is a difference. Some power supplies are very indiscriminate. When they blow, they will blow everything that's connected to it. However, Inland doesn't, and I appreciate that. But EVGA is the brand of power supply we got. I found one, a 600-watt one. So we're going to see how it does. So it is what it is. But again, I there was a reason why I closed the show and I say, God willing, we'll see you tomorrow. That is the reason. So I thank God for being here today, and I thank Jen for taking one for the team. She's gone back to her laptop for the time being, because the sad thing is that other computer we had only has a 20-pin ATX connector, is what they call it, and Jen's computer needs a 24. So unfortunately, her computer's sitting at her feet, not even turned on, and she's back on her old laptop, which I know a lot of you don't know what that means, but it's that laptop. The dinosaurs did away with it because it got too slow. It's an old beat up laptop. It don't even have a keyboard on it anymore. It's but I don't throw it away, and now you see why I don't throw it away, because the thing works. You just got to plug a keyboard into it. It works. I could buy a keyboard for it for $15, but I do. Seriously, I thank God for blessing us with the ability to be able to at least get the computer going for the show, and anything else that we may need between now and the power supply that comes in. And I thank God for the intelligence on my part to know how to make these repairs and know how to diagnose these repairs, and even more so. Just kind of one more point about this whole fun incident. So I never can leave enough alone. If you get to know me, that's one thing you learn very quick. I never can leave good enough alone. So I pulled the power supply apart, the one that's failing, and I found 3 capacitors inside of it that are swelled. The power supply starts to come up, but it won't stay up. It shuts off in a short period of time. So I found 3 swelled capacitors on the inside. I identified those capacitors, and I went back to that same company that I ordered capacitors from for the monitor. Well, I wasn't able to successfully fix the monitor. Whatever's wrong with it, I didn't fix, but there were some bad capacitors that I did fix. It just didn't fix the monitor. But I went back to that same company that I ordered capacitors from before. The company's called Arrow. And I ordered 5 capacitors from them. I ordered 2 of one kind that I only actually need 1 of. And I ordered 3 of the other kind that I actually only need 2 of. I like having spares. And you're not going to believe this, but overnight shipping plus the 5 capacitors, and I had the same incident the last time. It blows my mind. I don't know how they do it. $1.83. So now we won't get them tomorrow, but we'll get them Monday. And I will. I'm going to try to repair this power supply. And if I do successfully repair this power supply, then I'm going to put it in the box that the new power supply came out of, and stow it away. So that next time that we have a power supply issue like this, we've got a backup sitting around, even if it is used and already died once. So that was one thing my dad instilled into me. If you can fix what you already have, do so. Don't just throw something away and go buy something new. Fix what you have, because then you know what you have. And so that has definitely been something that's stuck with me, and something that I try to practice on a regular basis. So it's a struggle, folks. It is without a doubt a struggle. In other news, I know Morning was in there a minute ago. I seen her speaking. Is she still in there? I don't know if you're still in earshot, Morning, but I wanted to make you aware that I did get things straightened out with Share Sale and Legacy today. So I did get credit for what you bought the other day. They got that straightened out today. The main thing, like I told you, is, and everybody else, is that I wanted to make sure I didn't do something boneheaded in the back end of my website to cause an issue. But from the way it appears, I didn't do anything wrong. Everything I've done is correct. They've looked at everything. Everything looks like it's all in place, and everything is good to go. So I don't know. The only other things that they could think of is that somehow the cookie didn't drop. In other words, it could be any number of reasons. You may not. You may have your settings so that your browser won't accept cookies, for instance. That could be one way. Or there could just been an error somewhere in the whole thing. But anyway, they got it taken care of. So if anybody orders through the WatchmanNews.com, at least in the beginning here, make sure you let me know that you placed an order. That way I can watch out for it and see whether or not I get the credit for it, because obviously sometimes there are issues. Speaking of that, and I was holding off before I got a bunch of stuff on the website, because if there was going to be an issue with the way I'm doing things, I didn't want to be all done with doing it all, and then find out, oh, you got to go back through and change everything. So I didn't get a whole bunch more added. I didn't get anything added to Legacy Foods yet. I've got a lot of stuff to add to there yet. Let's see. So I didn't get anything on Legacy Foods added. Just as well, I didn't get anything in the Legacy Gear added. I've got lots of stuff to add there as well. Let's see, Nightcore, I didn't get anything more added. I've got a ton of stuff to add there. So this weekend I'm going to be doing a bunch of adding. I did get to work a little bit on Alpha Defense Company today. So I did get 2 sections done, at least to the point that I'm going to do them. I've got the face shields all the way from the single face shield 5-pack, the 5-pack tactical pack, the 8-pack or the 12-pack. I've got those in there. And what happens, like if you want a single shield, you click on that, and it just takes you right to their page where you can browse through all their different face shields. So it's pretty much that simple. Same as like if you decided you wanted a 5-pack, you click on that. It will take you directly to the page to where you can go in and select your packs, or select your different ones. So anyway, that's the way it's set up. So I got the face shields, the human face shields, and I do have the dog shields up. Again, I've got it where you can get the single, or they've got a 5-pack or a 10-pack for the dog shields. So I did get some work done on it today, not a whole lot. I was waiting to hear back from Share Sale to make sure that I was doing stuff correctly. It would appear that I am. So again, if anybody places an order through the website, please just let me know that you placed an order. That way I can watch in the back end of Share Sale to make sure that I get credit for it. So not a big deal. I'm just more or less wanting to double and triple check myself because, hey, I'm a human being. I screw up, But anyway, so that's what's up. And then I wonder why that's so wide. It's interesting. Anyway, so that is what's up with that. Let me go ahead and get back to the homepage here. No monologue as far as being posted yesterday, because as I speak, it even still says that the video is processing. So I wasn't even able to download the video because it's never finished processing. So what I do is I download it and then I clip the monologue out, add the intro to it, and post it. But since it's not done processing, I can't download it, so it is what it is. So we'll try again today. Okay, YouTube, we're at 13:51. We are crawling forward very slowly, very slowly. What the deal with that is let me show you Google AdSense. 4966, of course, is still there. On the Google AdSense, what the deal is with that is we are trying to, and this will go towards it come around the 11th or so of next month. What we are trying to do is get that built up to our $100 threshold so that we can collect it, and then we're going to close Google AdSense. That's one reason why we are becoming an affiliate for Legacy and Alpha Defense and Nightcore. I'm waiting still to hear back from Giant Vapes. We did send an application in with Giant Vapes. I'm looking at pet companies because I would like to find a pet company that is part of Share Sale that will be relatively inexpensive to buy, like bulk pet food. At the same time, have like gear for like cold weather for pets and stuff like that, and all at the same time have good quality stuff. So that's what I'm looking for. If there is anything else that anybody thinks they could be interested in when it comes to along the lines of survival and preparation and stuff like that, let me know. Let me know what types of items, and then I can search for the different types of companies that Share Sale is affiliated with, so that maybe I can become an affiliate for them as well. That's kind of the whole idea. I want everything I want on here. I want to be related to prepping and survival, and it doesn't cost you any more to click the links here. Doesn't cost you a dime more. It just gives us a small percentage of the sale, and it helps us out. So that's what's up with that. We are trying to get away from Google. Totally trying to get away from Google. And as soon as we hit that $100 threshold balance and collect from them, we will cancel our AdSense account. And then we will obviously at that same time it will demonetize our YouTube channel, and we'll be totally done with it. So that's done either through, like I say, the monthly, and we normally don't even have this much. I don't know why we still have so much there, but we'll see over the coming days if that disappears. Sometimes that happens. But anyway, either through our monthly revenue or through super chats is what gets us closer to that threshold. So let me close that out, and believe me, that would be especially in times like this that would be a blessing. I'm hoping something breaks so that we aren't stuck in a position to where we can't produce a product for a customer because we don't have the goods, the raw goods. So okay, let me go ahead and run through the news. Of course, it's been a crazy day. The alleged mad bomber, if you would like to call him that, has been detained, is in custody. Social media is going wacky with it. I'm seeing all of a sudden, already I'm seeing all kinds of conservative-minded people making claims that, this guy was a Democrat, they're lying about that. Stop with the agenda-driven bullshit. Please, stop with the agenda-driven bullshit. This is why I can't stand Republicans or Democrats, right? Because you're all a bunch of hypocritical fucking liars. Every last one of you. You've got an agenda. You're running this country into the hole. Man, I'm telling you, I'm so fed up with red team and blue team, I can't see straight. If you can't stand for the Constitution of the United States, get the fuck out. You want to tell all these other people to get out, good people? You want to tell Muslims to get out, good people that want to do good things in this country? Why don't you get the fuck out and go to North Korea if you want to act like them, right? Because that's what agenda-driven politics is. And I've had enough of it. You're turning this country into shit with your bullshit, ignorant ideas. Enough. I'm tired of the lies. I'm tired of the lies from both sides. And neither one of you are doing anything but turning this into a communist country. Our forefathers didn't even want a two-party system. They spoke against, you wouldn't believe how they spoke against a two-party system, because they knew what it led to. They knew it led to this. They had a history that they didn't pull a cover up over their heads and ignore. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple. If you think a vote is going to fix anything, then you're so entitlement-minded that it's unreal. You want to talk about, the right wants to talk about people that receive, social benefit, social program, benefits from social programs. Sorry, it pisses me off. They want to talk about them, entitlement. Bullshit. If you're gullible enough to go place that piece of paper in a box or punch buttons on a computer and think that you're entitled to freedom, think that that's going to make America great again, not only you're fucking retarded, but you have an entitlement mind that is going to completely destroy this country. It already has. It already has. And I'm sorry that I get so fired up about this, but what the hell am I supposed to do? I've been doing this live on the air now for what? Going on 4 years or going on 5 years? I can't even keep straight anymore. Right? But I've been speaking out about this since I was 17 years old. And it's getting old. Because all I hear is excuses. Right? All I hear is excuses from both sides. It's insane. Let's fix this country. Let's fix this country. How about instead of going to a polling place next month, how about we go to our state capitals? How about we go to the capital of Washington, D.C., and tell them to get the fuck out? Why don't we make the capitals the polling place? That's actually doing something. Because, folks, even if you elect the person with the best intentions, man, we got a candidate here in Illinois named Cash Jackson that I couldn't dream of having a better governor. But there's two problems here. Number one, let's be realistic. He don't have a chance in hell. He don't have a chance in hell. Not because of his policy, but because of the corruption. And I'm not talking about votes that are paid for. I'm not talking about all the Democratic dead voters. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the lack of exposure. Because he doesn't have millions of dollars to invest in TV commercials. They won't let him into the debates. Okay? Most people in Illinois, you mention the name Cash Jackson, are like, what? Who? It's insane. It's insane. But let's just say by the grace of God that come election day, Cash Jackson gets in office. You really think he's going to be able to get anything done? Ain't happening. You see, we screwed up in this country so bad. And let me explain how this works, okay? Because when you screw up with the type of system that our forefathers had set up, you are screwed. Because it's 10 times harder to get unscrewed than what it was to get screwed. Hang on. So let's say you start out with a clean slate with the structure that our forefathers set up in this country. Great structure, great idea, great plan. Okay? In order for bad things to happen, it would literally take a conspiracy. Okay? So it would be easy to keep the country running smoothly. But however, once it got corrupted and continued to be corrupted even more and more and more, guess what? Now that one good guy that you voted into office has to go against all the corrupt guys that are still in office. You see what I'm saying here? We screwed up. We have to reboot our country, our government. We have to reboot it. Just like you would a computer. Actually, not more than a reboot. We got to format the hard drive of the country and reinstall the operating system. In other words, we got to kick them all out on their ass, every last one of them, and start over. And yeah, I think it would be very, very wise to add a few things like term limits. I think it would be very, very wise to make lobbying illegal like it should be. We need to stop calling it lobbying. It's bribery. That's why I get fired up about it. Because people, every on that 2-year and that 4-year mark, people get absolutely stupid. And one thing I cannot stand is stupidity. God, I can't stand stupidity. I talk about it from time to time on the show, especially about with 9/11. I'm speaking to the choir here. If I were to say 9/11 was an inside job, we all know that. Even people that aren't quote-unquote conspiracy-minded get that. But the moment you bring up the term Muslim, people, 9/11, 9/11, Sharia law, 9/11, Sharia law. No, Muslim. See, Muslims nor Islam had anything to do with 9/11. Absolutely nothing to do with 9/11. Nothing. And Muslims don't have anything to do with Islam. In fact, most of the Muslims came to the United States to flee Islam and Sharia law. But when you bring these things up, people go full retard. They absolutely cannot separate them. Why? Because they've been brainwashed. They've been programmed. Largely by that damn political party that they bow and kiss the ass of. I'm just being real. I'm just being real. Folks, we don't have a long time left. Whatever is coming down this pike, and it's coming hard and fast. I feel it with everything. It's part of what has me so damn frustrated. There's a million things that's got me frustrated with it all. But that's one of them. That one is near the top. Because if we don't get this shit figured out, if the majority don't get their heads pulled out of their asses, when that curtain falls, we're done. We're done. The left and the right are doing nothing but pushing for totalitarianism and I can't even say the words. Authoritarianism. They want to be dictators. That's not what this country is about. This country isn't about one group deciding who gets to rule over the other. That's North Korea. That's China. That's USSR. Nazi Germany. Now do you see the danger of the Republican and the Democrat Party? They're both communists. Both of them. I've explained this before. They're both communists. It's insane. It's insane. And if we don't figure it out, I have a firm belief these lights are going to go out. And if we don't figure it out, good night. That's the end. Because anybody talking like me will be taken out in a heartbeat. You don't think it's coming? Look at the purge. Look at the purge. You don't think it's coming? Look at Common Core. Look at what they're teaching the kids today about the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Or what they're not teaching them about it is even worse. It's all right in front of us. But if we want it to be stopped, we have to stop it. We can't possibly expect that we can vote. That's a cop-out. That's a cop-out. It's a spineless, shameful cop-out. What we need is torches and pitchforks. Anyway, let me go ahead and run through the headlines here. Two teenagers in custody. This was yesterday. Two teenagers in custody after teacher's gun goes missing at North St. Louis County School. Now, I don't know that the teacher was supposed to have the gun at the school. Okay? I don't think this was one of the schools to where firearms were being promoted, actually. I don't think. I could be wrong on that. but I don't believe that was one of those schools. It's kind of crazy, though, huh? And that's the problem, folks. But again, let me speak onto this for a minute. So let's say that school, and you're talking about North St. Louis, okay? If you're not familiar, that's a pretty rough area, okay? So, let's say a teacher, carries a gun to school because, he doesn't want to die. So he carries a gun to school, keeps it concealed, nobody knows about it. So he puts it here, puts it there, whatever, because he's not supposed to have it on school grounds, right? And it gets discovered, like in this instance, and it gets stolen, okay? You see, that is where these laws that the dumb liberals think that they're putting in place to protect people, that's where they're failing people. Because, see, if the guns were allowed in school, and there wasn't no problem with that, if teachers were allowed to be armed in school, in the classroom, they could have one of those safes right there at their desk that they could keep their firearm in, which would only take them a blink of an eye to get it out of that safe. But nobody else could get it out of that safe. Okay? But they don't have the safe there because they can't let their bosses know that they've got the gun because of a bunch of ignorant liberals that think that making laws is going to stop tragic things from happening. Don't worry, conservatives do the same thing. They make ignorant laws that think... conservatives, they make laws. I wonder sometimes they think that they can make laws and all of a sudden the homeless problem will just disappear because they make laws. Right? Telling you, it's stupid. Let's see. Strong earthquake rattles Greece and Ionian Sea. I think I mentioned that yesterday. Possible tsunami warning after 6.8. Let's see. I mentioned the Florida courthouse. I think I mentioned... oh, no, I guess I didn't. Okay, but this is a new one. Well, kind of not new, but FBI confirmed suspicious packet addressed to Senator Booker has been recovered in Florida. Suspicious package found in New York City addressed to former U.S. DNI Clapper. Let's see. Multiple children injured after stabbing attack at kindergarten in China. See? Knife. Stabbing. People are going to do things, and there's no way you're going to stop that. So why prevent other people from being able to protect themselves or others? It makes no sense. You don't stop the violence. The violence just gets worse, and it gets more violent. Right? I'd rather be shot in the head with a single bullet than stabbed in the chest 50 times. Let's see. Erdogan issues final warning on east of Euphrates. Russia's FSB busts ISIS cell planning terrorist acts in Moscow. Hanford nuclear plant employees told take cover over incident. Federal authorities arrest man in connection with suspected explosives. Trump on mail bomber, bring them to swift justice. We can't allow political violence in America. Shroom for improvement, right? Hey, it's not always all bad news. FDA lists psychedelic drugs as breakthrough therapy for depression. So why I still don't trust the FDA, and I think that they need to be disbanded. At least they're starting to wake up. So that is good. If you did not know, psilocybinous mushrooms can treat anxiety. You have to microdose, folks. You can't take it until you're seeing all kinds of crazy things flying in the air. If you microdose it, okay, it's been known to cure anxiety, PTSD, depression, and even Alzheimer's disease. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. It is amazing what psilocybin does to repair the synapses and other parts of the human mind. Very interesting stuff. Very, very interesting stuff. So this is a step forward. Maybe now we can now we can start getting something done. These medications, man, that they're patenting and stuff like that is bad news, folks. Bad news. Everything's right there in nature. Everything to fix us is right there in nature. U.S. markets plunge into correction territory with NASDAQ tech rec leading the way. Yes, once again, and we'll take a quick look there. I looked earlier, and the Dow and everything was down. We'll take a peek. Yeah, Dow's down 296 and a quarter points. S&P 500's down almost 47 points. NASDAQ's down a little over 151 points. Global Dow is down 26.63 points. So gold's up 3, oil's down 0.29. So have no idea on crypto. We'll take a peek here. Crypto's hanging out about the same. So okay. Moon radio signals could uncover secrets of universe dark ages. DOJ identifies mail bomb suspect as Caesar Sayak, could face up to 48 years in jail. Fiancé of Jamal Khashoggi rejects Trump's invitation over U.S. insincerity. And hey, hats off to her. That's great. I am all about integrity. I am all about integrity. Hats off to her. Bolton warns Russia of Chinese missiles that threaten its heartland. In other words, they're trying to get China on board with us. That ain't gonna happen. China's too busy building missile systems to use on us. Australia and Papua New Guinea close to finalizing deal on joint naval base. India and Japan to sign military pact, but France still dominant in Indian Ocean. Whom did the Chinese defense minister warn? I guess he had stated a warning. Hang on here. Let me get this opened up. I hadn't actually had a chance to read most of these. Let's see. On Thursday, during the opening ceremony of the Zhengshan Forum, Wei Feng, China's Minister of Defense and State Council members, said that China will take decisive steps, regardless of the cost, to preserve its territorial integrity and repel attempts to separate Taiwan from the country. Well, who were they warning? I would say that was a pretty clear statement to the United States, because we're the only ones that are really up their butts about that. Let's see. And the IDF says at least 10 missiles launched from Gaza, several intercepted. Now, I haven't heard anything more. Usually when that happens, that's just because I haven't... I've been doing the show here. So there was a response right here. Let me put this out. I think this is a response. Let me get this put out here, and I'll double check, make sure that this is their response. Let's see. Footage released by the Israeli Defense Forces shows more than a dozen rockets being fired at southern Israel from the Gaza Strip. The attack took place late on Friday after 5 Palestinians were killed by the IDF. The video shows the night sky being lit up with bright flashes as rockets, which the IDF says are flying in from Gaza, are being intercepted by the Israeli air defenses. Some 10 to 12 rockets have been fired at area near the Israeli city of Sderot, the IDF said in a statement, adding that the Iron Dome missile defense systems intercepted several of the projectiles. There have been no reports about any casualties among the Israelis resulting from the attack. The incident came hours after the Palestinian authorities said that 5 people were killed by the IDF. The Israeli Haaretz daily reports. Okay, so I guess there hasn't been actually a response yet. So you can expect that any moment now, there's probably going to be airstrikes. So, absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Okay, I think that'll do it for the monologue. I'm going to make sure to get a highlight clipped out today, so then we've got kind of a backup just in case the full show doesn't process like yesterday's show. So it is what it is. So that'll do it for the monologue. And see, if you're here for the live show, stick around. We've got plenty more. If you just watch the monologue, well, thank you very much. As always, God bless you. We love you, and be one with your spirit.